I wanted to talk about something very insightful that happened today in one of my meetings with a client. He came to the meeting and he informed me that his key team player, who works on projects, has actually put in his paper. So I said, what happened? The client told me that a couple of days back he was in his wider team setting and he asked this key player for something. They had to discuss some business issue, and the body language of this key team player said it all. There was like big rolling of eyes and the whole kind of heaving and saying, oh really, I need to discuss this with you. And just the body language said it all, and the client lost his cool. And he pretty much asserted himself at that time and said, I want to see you in my office now, and audible enough for the other team players to know what was happening there. So obviously the key team player went, had a meeting, and pretty much then the next day he resigned. Okay. Now there was a lot of hurt and a lot of emotions running when I was having this conversation, and the client was like, Shweta, I just can't tolerate this kind of behavior. The whole body language, the patronizing behavior, this is not something that's acceptable. It's my business and I'll run it the way I want to run it. I don't want to have these kind of people in the office. And just calming him down a little bit, and truly I understand where he was coming from, because it's so easy to react with that kind of a trigger in front of the other team members. It's so easy. And yes, there was a big reaction that happened from the client. He understands that. But now it was all about saying why he reacted like that. At that point I asked him a question saying, so tell me one thing, is this person good at what he does? And he was like, yeah, he's good at what he does, but just the attitude, is not right. And I was like, okay, so if we let go this person, accept his resignation, what does that mean? What's the implication for the business? And client was like, yeah, I'll get sucked into all kind of operational things, and sales will suffer, the growth will suffer, marketing will suffer, a lot of other things will suffer, but yeah, I will get sucked into day to day. So I asked him a question. I said, so what do you think? What do you think? Do you think this person is required for the business's sustainability and good growth? And he was like, yeah. And by this time, the client's tone was, getting normalized, and he was becoming calmer, and he was already seeing the perspective here. At that point, what I told him was that, look, there are two big things and very dangerous things in the business, which is what I want to share with you with this incident. And please write it down, very dangerous things in the business, and especially as business owners, you need to be aware of it. One is the ego, and the second is the blind spot, not seeing what you should be seeing. And ego is getting I into the picture. Now I get it, it's the business owner who's running the business, who is owning the business, but at the end of the day, business has got its own entity, and the business owner is a separate entity. Few things sometimes we love to do, we should not be doing because it's not the right thing for the business. And things sometimes that we hate to do actually is required by the business. And just having that distinction and knowing that it's not you who is the business, we have to do the things which are right for the business and find the solutions if there are some issues, is what's required most of the times. In fact, all the times, as far as I'm concerned. So I have to compliment my client big time, and that's why I love him so much, is straight away he got the point. The coachability was right there. He was listening to everything, and he just told me, saying, Shweta, I will go back and I'll do my best to sort this out, to stabilize, to apologize, and to make sure that we're working as a stronger team. That requires a lot of humility. That requires a lot of maturity and a lot of sensibility. When you're willing to put your ego aside and say, I'll do what's right for my business, keeping the values intact, keeping the constructive feedback intact, and making sure that there is honesty, there is transparency, and we are working as a stronger team. So I hope you find that useful, because it is very insightful. And whenever you have those occasions where ego is creeping in, just remind yourself that you're not the business. You're the owner of the business, and business has got its own requirements, its own needs, and the right things that need to be done for this entity.